Okay, let's see. So review number one. Review number, Alvaro, ¿cuál?
Review number 2.
Number two.
Yeah. And me.
Always read the instructions. That will help you. Okay, so which one?
Number 3.
Number three. If the inflation rate is positive, will the expected NPV of an investment project be understated or overstated if real cash flows are mistakenly discounted by the nominal discount rate? All right, so so what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to take the real cash flows with the real rate. What is the difference between the nominal rate and the real rate? Which one is bigger? So we got to go back to the notes. Let me show you here. Okay, so remember this relationship, right? This relationship we have between real and nominal. This one. So, which one is bigger, the real rate or the nominal rate with inflation?
Nominal.
Right. So, if we use the nominal interest rate instead of the real one, what's going to happen to the values? Okay, so let's remember that. Because I'm gonna go back to the original screen. So the nominal one is bigger than it's supposed to be. And so if we're dividing by a larger number than we're supposed to, what happens to NPV? Will it go up or down?
Up.
If we divide, because the discount rate is in the denominator, remember? So if we divide by a bigger number, what's going to happen to NPV? NPV will become
Lower.
Lower.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, so read it again. If inflation is positive, will we expect NPV of an investment project to be understated or overstated? So it's going to be smaller, so that's going to be understated. Okay, so is that the correct answer? Now I got to go check because I want to be sure, but it's understated. Yeah, you see? The inflation rate is positive. Using this formula, when there is positive inflation, the nominal rate will be larger than the one you're supposed to use. So you're going to then, the value we are discounting by will be too large, and the resulting present value of future cash flows will be too small, and therefore won't sufficiently offset the initial cost of the investment as it would have if R was used. Anyway, it will be NPV basically will be too small than it should be. Got it?
Two
Got it.
questions. So when the inflation is negative, then it will be overstated. And then my other question, can we use this formula to do the other exercise about nominal and real rates we did before?
Yeah, it's the same formulas. It's the same formulas. I just reintroduced them. So
Yeah, sorry, I remember this one, but the other one you had in the other presentation, like real cash flows, that I feel that that one was new.
no, it's all the same. They're both the two form. When I taught this with the discounting and inflation handout, there were three formulas and one concept. The concept was real cash flows with the real rate, nominal cash flows with the nominal rate. And then the three formulas, what three am I talking about? Talking about, so make sure you have them on your formula sheet. This is like your first one. So that's real to nominal with inflation. This one is cash flows, changing real cash flows over time to nominal cash flows. And the third formula was when you started with nominal cash flows but have inflation, and it was the relationship of G and the growth rate. Sorry, the growth rate and the inflation. Remember, it was a very specific case. 1 over 1 plus G. I'm doing this wrong. 1 over 1 plus pi is equal to 1 plus G. Isn't that what it was? If you guys look back and remember. So those are the three formulas. It's the same. It's the same. And you asked if inflation is negative. We don't really, basically it's either 0 or positive. I think that's what they were getting at. We don't usually deal with negative inflation. But yeah, they're saying it's non-zero is what they're trying to say. David, got it? So it means that there's something here. That's the main point. Okay, so other questions, otra preguntas, and then I will do one of the cases. You can ask me which one you want me to do, and we can finish it. If we don't finish in the time, I'll just continue and I'll put up the video if you have to go, because I have actually the other class after, but if I think I can finish it before the class is done. I have to pick one that's can be finished before the class is over. No more questions?
So
Teacher,
because this is a financing project, that's why the real rate is smaller than the nominal rate. If it would be, I didn't get really why net present value is undervalued when you use the nominal rate.
It's because we're using this number instead of this number. And this number here, this value here will be bigger than this number because we take this and then we make it like bigger. No matter what, 1 plus something, if pi is not 0, Rn will be bigger than Rr. Like, okay, if this term didn't exist, if pi was 0, what would happen? If pi was 0, they would be the same. It wouldn't matter if you use the real or the nominal. But now, since pi is bigger than 0, the nominal rate will be bigger. So you're dividing by a number that's bigger than it should be, because you're supposed to use this one. Nicholas, is that better explanation? That's why. You're dividing by a bigger number than you should. When you divide by a bigger number, when you discount each of those, the formulas, when you discount, you're dividing by a bigger number in the denominator than you should have. So then the overall NPV will be smaller. Think about it. We can talk about it again later, but that's basically it. So
teacher, and another question. how in the quiz that we're gonna take, uh, how could there be a how could the questions be like, for example,
Oh, you mean on Tuesday, on
most of
Monday? On Monday, the quiz. I'll give you a
yeah,
case. I'll give you a case. I'll give you a case on Monday. So you have to evaluate the three parts. So you have to practice the case. It's a good question. What am I giving you? I'm giving you a case. That's why I want to do one with you. I mean, you have many here, but it's better to do it at, one or two in person. So the difference with the cases in the notes is I don't make a table. The only tables I make is the depreciation table, and the networking capital table if necessary. This one, okay, this one I made a table. So when did I make a table? When don't I make a table in income? I make a table when they're mixed cash flows. You see, these are all different numbers. But in most of the exercises, I give you cases where I round the numbers and say, $10 million revenue, $5 million expenses. Like it's just always the same. When they're different, you have to make a table. If it's
um
a pattern, you don't have to. Anyway,
and the
So
time we have to do those cases is 20 minutes, right?
I could give you 45. I think I said 45. Can't remember. I think I said 45. 45 minutes should be enough. At the beginning of the class, I'll take your questions and then we'll finish like a half an hour of questions, 40 minutes of questions, and then yeah, I think that's enough. For half an hour of questions, and then I'll give you the case. David.
so for the test, we'll mostly be dealing with annuity formulas like we did on for the
Yeah,
previous
yeah, because
exercise.
I don't like tables. I really don't. I don't like, as it's hard to, if you make a mistake in one cell, it ruins everything. It drives me crazy. And with the formulas, I can see where you made the mistake. Here, it's going to be harder for me to see and grade. So it's more for me. Well, anyway, I think it's for you too. Let's reinforce your knowledge of the formula. Okay, who else? Any more questions? I want to do the first one. Did you follow the first one, Alvaro? You did the first one,
Yeah.
and no questions about it?
Nope.
Okay, well then let's see. Let's do another one then. This one was. You tell me which one, if you did more than that. Which one would you like me to do, or we can do together? And let's see if we can finish in, an hour. We have an hour if we start now. So which one should we do? We can do one that doesn't have any solutions.
Hmm.
Oh, I think they all have solutions. I gave you the ones with all the solutions. Okay. I feel like not doing a super long one. You want to do this one? It's like super long. This is from the test. I think I got it from here. March 15. No, November 6th. November 6th. Okay. You guys are not telling me. Do you want to do that? November 6th? I don't know why it says November 6th. It's written.
I don't mind doing it as long as Alvarado hasn't done it, so everybody has to like first try.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
You don't mind?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm just confused what I did here. Okay, wait. This says March 16 and it says March 15. March 16. And this one says this is part 2. March 16, March 22. Which one did I open, you guys? Oh, this one here. That's the one I opened. Okay, so this is the first test, November 6th. I should put a date on it. Okay, let me download it. So yeah, for Monday, it's just going to be just a case, and then the next week I will do a test on both Unit 3 and Unit 4 together. So we can take the whole class probably to do it, because I have to give you a test like this with Unit 3 material. You have to practice that. So just focus for Monday on the cases. Okay, I'm gonna download it. Keep saying that. Down. So it's called Old Exam. Okay, took me a while. So you get an idea. I gave it 8 points for it. Sometimes I leave it open for you to answer. Hold on. So the people who just came new, I recommend you guys join with the video because you pay more attention when you're on video. Less distracted. But that's to you for this time. When I'm gone in April, I'm going to expect you to be on video. So just letting you know. Today I'm more relaxed about it. Okay, so you see that. So sometimes I leave it blank like this. And then sometimes I can ask you piece by piece to answer. Like I asked you for income, I asked you for things separate. Like in the first exercise, the first review. I give you instructions, somewhat of instructions. Anyway, here I leave it open. So let's get organized. Let's read the case. Let's color it. As I did in class, we used green for income, blue for investment, and yellow for tax shield, or purple. I use purple. Okay. Your company has been considering introducing a 4-year-long computer hardware. Oh, there's a typo here. That's right. I remember this now. So I'll erase that. Erase that. Sorry. It's typo. Wait. Okay, so this was from 2022. And so I say on January 1st, 2023, Glass Incorporated is considering implementing a recently developed recycling process named EnviroClean. GI's original UltraCycle process cost $20 million to implement in 2020. Is that an incremental cash flow?
No, that is a sunk cost, right?
Yeah, it's already gone. Yeah, sunk cost. So we're gonna cross it out. In the old UltraCycle process, glass is crushed, melted, and then recycled into new glass products. In the proposed EnviroClean process, crushing the glass is unnecessary. Using new technology in EnviroClean process, glass is directly melted and then recycled into new glass products. Given some similarities in the two processes, it is estimated that 10% of the cost of the original UltraCycle process is attributed to the cost of developing the proposed EnviroClean process. Is that an incremental cost?
Yes, that's the interest.
Not interest. That would be attributed cost. Does it count? Is it incremental? Think about it. Okay, let's leave it for now and let's go to the things we need and then we'll see if we need it. Okay. All right, so let's leave a question mark for that one. As a financial assistant with Glass Inc., you have been asked by the Glass Inc. CFO to provide her with the information she needs to decide whether or not to take on the proposed EnviroClean project. If the analysis is in favor of this newly developed process, the new project will start at the beginning of next year. Given the rapid development in recycling technology, it is anticipated that the EnviroClean process will be viable for 5 years. So we're going to circle that. You are told that GI's fiscal year end is December 31st and that the required rate of return for the project is an annual effective rate of 26%. And its corporate tax rate is 40%. Okay, so for 2 paragraphs, there was no details there. It was just to build the context. The proposed project would require the use of one of GI's abandoned warehouses as of January 1st, 2023. Similar warehouses are rented out for $1,000 per month, paid at the beginning of each month. The cost of partially automating the operations of the warehouse will require okay, so this is something else. So here, what do we do with the warehouse? What is that? Is it income, investment, or tax shields?
Investment.
What do you guys say? Put it in the chat if you're too shy or you don't want to yell at the same time. So David says it's investment. What do you guys think? This is your chance to participate because I can't see your face. Show me that you're listening. Make a guess. No guesses? So the abandoned,
Is
I think it's an investment.
that's investment.
what does it sound like from the other case? So Adrian says income. Adrian says income. Why is he saying income?
That's the gates on the airplanes. The 10 million.
The terminal, right?
Yeah.
This is like the terminal with the airplanes. And what did I do with the terminals? Where did I put it?
In income, it was side effect.
Is
No
not side effect, close. You're close. It is in income and it's called not side effect.
opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost. Okay, so we're gonna highlight it, everybody. You guys got to remember that. So this is like the terminal. And so I'm going to make a note here that this is opportunity cost. Because we're going to take the warehouse for us, but it had a market value and we lose that revenue that we could have had. So that's opportunity cost. Must go into the analysis, economic opportunity cost. The cost of partially automating the operations of the warehouse will require the new machinery valued at $35,000 is purchased. Okay, now you guys try again. What is that? Income, investment, tax shield.
Investment.
Right, so this is like the planes, right? This is the initial outlay. So let's highlight that. Blue, right? Blue for investment. And then we say the machinery will be depreciated using the 7-year depreciation schedule. Upon completion of the proposed project, the new machinery will be sold for, okay, so all of this, there's a resale value, and it'll be sold for the undepreciated cost of capital. So you need to get the book value and, well, you don't need it, but you're going to be having no tax treatment because you're going to be able to sell it for exactly the book value. So that's important. So that's going to be more like the the case that we did in class. I wanted it to be different so we could practice that, but hopefully maybe we'll finish this quickly and then we'll do another one. All right, so that is going to be in purple because that's all about the tax shield, 7 years. And then the sale value is sold for the UCC. Ten employees for the proposed project will be hired to begin work on January 1st. Each will work 170 hours per month. They will be paid at the end of every month at a wage of $15 per hour for the duration of the project. That should be 15, not 15 like 1,000, 15. Given the current labor shortage, this wage will certainly impact wages of workers currently employed in other operations of the firm. Okay, let's first talk about this. $15 per hour. What is that? Income, investment, tax shields.
That's income.
It's income because it's going to be an expense of doing business, right? So let's highlight it as expense. Given the current labor shortage, this wage will certainly impact wages of workers currently employed in other operations of the firm. It is anticipated that the impact of current wages will increase expenses of GI's other operations by $20,000 per year indefinitely. What is that?
Side effect.
That's right. It's an income side effect. So I'm going to make it green as well. So we're going to write down that that's, so this one is, oops, incremental revenue. Or incremental expense. And this one is also incremental expense. This one is also incremental cost. And this one is called the tax shield. All right.
Sorry, but what was the difference? How could I see the difference of opportunity cost versus side effect?
Yeah, so the side effect, I didn't write side effect. So side effect, can somebody tell them the answer? We talked about this. How do we know the difference?
It is something that happens because we took action in the project.
We took action that affects another project in the firm. So if we identify all of the operations distinct projects, then yeah, we've impacted See how it says here, given the current labor shortage, this wage will certainly impact wages of workers currently employed in other operations. So that's a side effect. It's affecting the other operations. So this is the side effect of this project on the others. So that's the terminology, exactly. We're going to treat them the same. We're going to put them both in income, but they derive from different reasons. The CFO's team predicts that the proposed EnviroClean project will partially replace the old UltraCycle process. You estimate that reduced UltraCycle output will reduce GI's revenues by $200,000 each year. What's that? Income?
That would also be income. Is also a side effect, right? Like lost revenue.
Exactly. So it's like it's going to be and then you're certain that the new products will increase revenues by 550. So we're still above water because we're going to make 550,000. We're going to lose 200,000. So that's also income. All this is income. Make it clear. Both of these, is that clear? Both of these situations are side effect and incremental expense. And this is incremental revenue. No, I'll take that out. I'll do that again. So this is incremental revenue, lost revenue. It's all treated the same, but it's nice to articulate, what's happening. They're both going to go into income. So incremental, I'll put an R here so you don't think that's income. Incremental. Okay, the CFO's team predicts that the proposed EnviroClean project will require the following levels of current assets and current liabilities. Where does this go? Investment income or tax shields?
That's investment. No?
Yes, that's investment. That's investment in net working capital. We have to summarize the table. So this is what we're going to need right away. This is what we need by the end of the first year, end of the second, third, fourth, and fifth. All right, so this is not so hard. This is investment. Oh, sorry, I used the wrong color. Ah, just to remember it's investment. All right, we have a blank here. We got to do this ourselves. So we're going to lay it out. We're going to go in order, okay? We're going to start with income.
What about the 26% and the 40 corporate tax?
This information, we're going to use that information, yeah. Oh my goodness, me and my colors. Okay. All right, so Just going back to our question mark, do you guys realize this is not part of the incremental costs? Because this is, again, part of sunk cost. Okay. So we're not going to include it. All right, so let's do the green. I'm gonna highlight all of this. I'm gonna bring it to another page. Wait a second. Okay, so I'm just gonna work with the green, and I'm gonna calculate present value of income. So I'm gonna put each of the different contributions as formulas, right? It's because they're level cash flows, I can use annuities. First of all, we have, okay, let's just go in order. It's easier just to go in order of what we've been presented. So first, it's going to be the opportunity cost. You can go revenues, expenses, and then the different costs, but opportunity and side effects, but I'm going to just go in the order it was presented because you can do that. So how do we present this cost? 1,000 per month paid at the beginning of each month. That's an annuity. It's an annuity due, and it's monthly. So we were given the tax rate of 40%, corporate tax rate of 40%, and an effective rate of 26. So let's write that down. So the required rate of return, like RI for this problem, why am I forgetting? 26% exactly, okay. And the corporate tax rate is 40%. Okay. So we're going to get the opportunity cost, then we're going to get the expenses, right? Incremental expenses. I'm just going in order. And then we're going to put the incremental expense of the side effect. And then the incremental revenue. Is that okay? That's the order. We're just going to go same as it was on the list. Okay, so the opportunity cost is going to be what? I'll give you guys a minute to think about that. Write it down.
$15,120.
You got it
Like
ready?
what? Sorry.
You have a number already?
Yeah, I think. Oh no, sorry. I just
Okay.
did a part of all it.
So the first thing is to realize that we need to convert our rate. We need the monthly rate because this is an annual effective. This is EPR. Sorry, EAR. So convert to monthly. So we have or given EAR, we need EPR 1 over 12. What is the relationship between EAR and EPR 1 over 12? 1 year is equal to 12 months. So it's going to be 1.26 partition into 12 in the powers minus 1 is equal to the rate that we need for our formula. And you need to store that. You guys cannot escape Unit 1 and Unit 2, you see? You still got to learn all that stuff. Okay, so get me that rate. So step 1, timing of payments. It looks terrible. I can't make it small. Anybody got me a number?
$12.25%.
If you guys don't make the calculations, I'm going to lose you very quickly. You guys got to work on this. Even if you don't completely understand, at least try and punch it in, because otherwise it's going to be just wasting your time. You're not going to know what's going on. All right, let me move this out of the way because all right, so let's see.
12.25.
So 1.26 to the power 12 inverted equals minus 1. That's what I get, 1.944. And I store that in 1. Should I do it again? You want to see it again? No comments?
So that we'll put that in the annuity formula to get
That's
the
right.
opportunity
Well, we have
cost
to, yeah, we're gonna have to multiply it by 100, but that's the
by
number.
100.
Yeah, 199,445.
And I got 35,231.90 for the opportunity cost.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's your rate. So you're gonna write, so I'm gonna put it here. PV. Okay, so we're gonna put the opportunity cost is going to be $1,000 annuity per month paid at the beginning of the month. Remember, we have to have the annuity due formula, so I got to write it with the 1,000 in immediately, and then the rate. I can write EPR 112 here, or just I'll write it like this, and then 1 over 1 plus EPR 112 to the power of 1 less, right? So how many months in 5 years?
It'll be 60, but since we're doing one less, it'll be 59.
Very good. So this is going to be 59, and that's it. So that's the opportunity cost. So you're going to put in the calculator. So what are we going to do? Let's change the calculator to begin mode. I'm going to do begin mode just because it's easier. I risk forgetting to add that every time. So I'm going to put the calculator in begin mode. And then put all these things in. So it's going to be 60. When you put it in the begin mode, you don't have to use 59. You use 60. You treat it like it's the usual one into N. And then recall 1 times 100 into interest. You guys remember all this? You can't forget anything. Got to remember all the stuff we learned before. And then PV is what we want. And 1,000 into payment. And 0 into FV. And compute PV. Okay, David, what did you get?
I had to fix it because I forgot to read at the beginning of the month, but now
Yeah.
I have 35,917.
So 35,000. How much? 900 and 26.
917.02.
Okay, so then we're going to store that as well. That's going to be stored in number 2. Just because I don't want to, I want to be able to have all my store values that I can check all my work later. Okay, so, all right, anybody want to review that? Let me plug it in. I'm going to plug it in to make sure. So I need to take this value, multiply it by 100, and put it in interest. I'm going to put 60 into here. I'm going to put 1,000 into here, 0 in here, and I have to tell the tell the calculator to compute for begin mode. Second, begin, second set. So that'll be in begin mode. You can see the letters BGN at the top, and then I can just say compute. Sorry, compute PV. That's what you told me? I think it looks familiar. Yeah.
Yes.
And now if you store it, there's going to show more decimal places, but just store it with all the decimal places. All right, we took care of a lot of things there. And so basically cases are just a bunch of annuity problems together. You're applying them now. Now you're using that. They're not problems in themselves. They're being used like a tool to help you solve cases. What is missing in my calculation? I'm missing something. What am I missing?
The negative symbol?
No, okay. Well, no, that's yes, he's right. He's right. We are missing a negative because it's going to be an opportunity cost. So I'm going to put let me move it over. What else am I
Corporate
missing?
tax?
That's right. So I need to take this, but after tax. So I have to 1 minus 0.4. You could do it all at the end, but I'm going to do it piece by piece to reinforce that it has to be there. This is, remember, the net operating cash flows. We have to have revenue minus cost, 1 minus TC, right? So each component of revenue minus cost in each year has to get after-tax treatment. The thing that I'm doing right now is doing like everything separate. Revenue, minus expense. Like I'm doing all the pieces separate just because it's easier than adding them all together first. Okay? It's going to be much easier. Anyway, I think it's easier. So that's it. That's one part. We have 3 more to go. Incremental expense. How is that going to work? Okay, I'll give you a minute. Think about the second one. So we just did this one. So now we got to do the next one here. Each will work 170 hours. Oh, I should highlight that because that's important. 170 hours per month with a wage of $15 per hour.
We'll multiply $15 per hour per 170 per month and multiply that by 10 because we have 10 employees.
Okay, and then what? What are we going to do with that information?
Make an annuity formula.
Exactly. So that's going to be for every month. So we make an annuity with that information. Okay, you guys try it without me. You have all the stuff you need. You have the monthly rate. You have the information there. David told you what to do. So try it again. Try it yourself or I'm going to lose you because you're just going to, it's going to be a blur. You're not going to follow. You have to try. So I'm pretty sure we're not going to finish this together. So what I'm going to do is after you guys leave, anyway, you can stay if you want. If you have to go, you're going to leave. But what I'm going to do is invite the other class and finish it with the other class. I'll pause the video for a bit and then finish this with the other class so you'll have the video complete. I just decided that because I'm pretty sure we're not going to finish. All right, so I'm going to start doing it. And this has a negative in front, as Alvaro mentioned. Opportunity cost. Okay, incremental expense. This is also going to have a negative. So I can put that right here. And it's going to be, so I'm going to present the formula, right? It's better that way that I can mark yours too if you guys do the same. It's easier for me to grade to see all the pieces. So it's going to be 170 hours per month times $15 per hour. And then in an annuity. For months. And again, 60. And what's missing?
The tax, corporate tax.
Exactly, corporate tax.
What about the 10 employees though?
Oh, I missed that. 1 minus, I knew I missed something else. Per hour, I didn't highlight it, did I? 10 employees, okay, that's probably why. I need to highlight the 10 employees. Times 10. So these are the hours, that's the rate, and that's the number of employees. All right, let's put it in. Oh, I didn't do the after tax here, but it's okay. I just highlighted that. I think that's fine to reinforce. We can do it all at the end, but I wrote it down separate. So let's get this number, simplify. 170 times 15 times 10. Oh, and I have to turn my calculator off of begin mode, right? Second begin, second set. It's off. All right, do that again. 10 times 15 times 170. 25, 500. So that's all right. Now make the annuity and tell me what you get. Change your calculator, remember, to regular mode.
I got 500 negative 539,000 and 48.10. But I would like somebody to confirm because and that's after tax.
So 60 interest is the same one. Recall 1 times 100. Okay, and then I compute PV. Is that it?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the first one, and then multiply
After
0.6.
Yeah, I'll just leave it like this so I can put it down. 898 413 5067. And store 3.
Teacher, so this one we put in end or in beginning?
Regular. There's
In
no,
regular.
yeah, the
Okay.
regular, no begin. So let me recall what I have, see what I have in my memory. So recall 1 is the rate. Recall 2 is the first. No, I didn't put it in store 2. I didn't even store that. Okay, let me get it back. I guess I lost it now. I got to do it again. I didn't store it. Had a feeling. So gonna do that begin mode again. Second begin, second set, and then it was 60 in recall 1 times 100. Everybody knows why I'm multiplying 100, right? Because that was just the decimal value. And then 1000, 0 here, compute PV, compute PV. Change the sign, store 2. There, it's there. Change the sign just so they're all positive, and then I'll just adjust the sign when I calculate this final answer. Anyway, if you practice enough, you'll get your own style. Make sure you have time to practice this week. I'm glad you came today so I could get you started if you haven't started yet doing these exercises. All right, so let's do the side effect next. So we did this one. Let's highlight or check it off. So we did this one. Now we're going to do this. Wages will increase expenses of other operations by 20,000 per year indefinitely. So side effect. So let me erase this. So that's opportunity cost. This one is incremental expense. The next one is incremental expense side effect. Okay, so I'll just call it side effect. So let's do the side effect. So what do I write? What's 280,000 per year indefinitely? What formula do I use?
Perpetuity.
A perpetuity formula, and that is 20,000 per year indefinitely. So it's per year. Which rate do I use? The original one, right? Because it's per year, not month. So be careful. We're switching back to years. And then what's missing?
Corporate tax.
And then the corporate tax, right? So I just got to put that. So that's easy if you know what you're doing. And I'm going to put a negative in front. So those two things, the sign and the tax. Okay, let's calculate it. I'm going to calculate it without the tax because I think I'm just going to put the tax at the end of everything. So 20,000 divided by 0.26 is 76,923. Oh, I got to get rid of begin mode, even though that's not going to affect anything. I'll do that after. 76,923.07 dot dot dot. 76 923.07 dot dot dot, and that's it. It's just that. So that's going to be store 4. Obviously, I won't make your test on Monday this long. There's a lot here. There's a lot of info. It's not going to be this long. It'll have all the components, or it'll address the components 1, 2, and 3, but we spent a whole class on income. So store 4. Second begin, second set. So that's incremental expense and side effect. So that's done. And now we're doing the revenue. So we spent all this time on revenues. I mean, on expenses. Now we're going to put the revenues. So incremental revenues. Okay, there's a side effect of the revenues. This also has a side effect in it. Because we have a difference. So we're going to take, what I'm going to do here is go 550 as the revenues per year, but then 200,000 less. So I'm going to write 550 minus 200,000 each year, like that. And then make an annuity. And the year rate is 26. So 1 minus 1 over 1.26. Okay, so it's a little, you have to keep straight in your head. This is the years, right? You can make a note or something, but this, we're back to the years. And there are 5 years only, not 20, not 60. Be careful with that. And I'm going to put a positive now and after tax. So you could put 1 minus 0.4 or just 0.6 because you keep a fraction, right, after tax. All right, so let's put this in our calculator. 550 minus 200 leaves 350. In an annuity, what do you get?
$922,274.78.
Yeah, I'm going to check. So 350. So I'm back in regular mode for 5 years at 26%, 350,000, 0 in FE, compute PV. 922,274,7781. Very good. I'm not going to round it. I'm going to put it in storage. So I'm going to write 77 ... store 5. All right, so we're going to finalize this. I mean, we only have 10 storage spots and we already used half of them. Let's try and just have one storage for each of the next 2 parts. All right, so now we're going to add them together using our recall buttons. And then at the end, I'm going to multiply by 0.6. Okay, so these are all subtracted. These are all negatives. This is the only positive one. So first I have to store this in 5. So I'm going to make it a positive store 5. All right, so we have recall 2 plus recall 3 plus recall 4. Now that's all negative. I'm going to change the sign. Plus recall 5, and I get that. It's a negative, which is really important. We're losing on this study. If I did it right, let's check. Back. Okay, so this one was negative. So maybe I'll put the negatives down here now just so I'm not confused. So this is a negative. This should be a negative, and this will be a negative, and that one will be a positive. Okay. So if we look at it, yeah, if you just look at the numbers, this is almost 900,000, almost wipes out the revenues. And these are both negative. So it's going to be a negative income project, but we still have to check if the tax shields justify the project. So we have to complete the whole analysis. Should I do it again? So recall, because I still have to do the taxes. Okay, so recall 2 plus recall. Wait, recall 2 plus recall 3 plus recall 4 equals negative plus recall 5 equals, so yeah. And so I'm going to, wait, I don't have to store that. I got to save my storage spaces. So that's going to be the negative times 0.6. And I've got for income 53,387,2976. Do you guys agree? I can store that in 6. So present value income, I'm going to write it here to stay organized. So part 1, present value income is equal to, and I stored it in 6. It's clearly this takes practice, okay? It's not so straightforward. 53,387,29. At this point, you could round it up to 30, but I'm going to keep using the storage keys, so I'll just keep using, I'll be consistent and keep using the storage keys. But at this point, you see the decimals might change from my results if you stayed the same all along. So I will keep the storage keys going. 53,387,29. I gotta put it somewhere else. It's too squishy. Store 6. And it's a negative, very important. Okay, guys, that's the class. I'm going to pause the video and see if I can get the students caught up and then finish this and put the recording up on Moodle for you. Any questions for me right now?
Teacher, the PV income didn't uh, doesn't match mine.
Okay.
I don't-
David, did you get mine or a different one?
My calculator deleted the mem, so since I was writing them down, I was able to do it, but I had to round down, and it still gave me your answer.
Okay, so Alvaro, what do you think? Where did you go wrong? Okay, well, after, so I put it all in and then I times by 0.6. Did you multiply by 0.6 al
I
final?
multiplied each one by 0.6 instead of all
It should
the,
give you the same answer though.
yeah. Uh,
So double check. I'm just going with David because I mean, recall 2 plus recall 3 plus recall 4. They were all negative, so I made it negative plus recall 5. I keep getting it.
yeah, maybe it was because the recall of the last one didn't.
Okay, here, check
Uh,
the numbers. Okay, so recall 2, that's the first one.
let me check. Recall. Uh, uh, let me.
Let's do recall 3,
Yeah.
recall 4,
Okay. Let me. Yeah. Recall 4.
recall 5.
There we go. I think the error was in recall 5.
So recall 5 was this one. Yeah, 922, this one here. That was the annuity. The annuity with 350,000, 26 is the interest rate and 5 years. Just be careful. Try that again.
Oh, I see.
Did you do 60?
No, I see. Yeah.
Okay. It's not easy.
Sorry.
I'm not saying it's easy. You just have to practice. And there was a lot in there. The next part will be to make the two tables. You have to make this table, and then you have to make the depreciation table. And I think the rest is straightforward, actually, but I will do the recording. So I'm going to pause the video and wait for the others, unless you guys have questions, more questions for me. You guys can stay too. If you don't have nowhere to go, you can stay with the other class. There's nothing tricky in I mean, not that this is tricky, it's just so long and you can get very tired. So anybody who wants to get going, you guys can go or you can stay. Open, open seating. And happy Easter. Have a beautiful weekend.
Gracias, igual.
Gracias, Valeria. Have fun at
See
Gracias.
you.
the place.
Good. Happy Easter.
Okay, you guys are going to stay? That's fine. So I'm going to pause the video. This would be boring to watch. Okay, so now we're going to calculate the PV of investment. What's going to go into investment?
The NYS, NWC requirement changes and investments to get the cash flows.
Okay, that's going to be from here. From here, but what about so what is the first thing that we're going to put though? I know, kind of in an order is let's go back. The investment, right? The investment is warehouse will require new machinery, $35,000 purchase. So the investment is the initial investment. And then we're going to put we can put the net working capital investment cash flows. And then what? We're going to do the salvage effect, right? We're going to sell the equipment. But in this case, remember the case says it will be sold for the value equivalent to its undepreciated cost of capital. So what does that mean?
It will be sold at the book value.
It's going to be sold the book value. So let's just include the formula here for the salvage effect so that we don't forget. So we want to get the PV of all of this here. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so the initial investment was how much? What's the impact of the initial investment?
35,000.
So I'm going to write negative 35,000. Do I do anything else? Is there a tax on it or anything?
No.
No, right, that's it, right? Because for tax purposes, we're actually going to depreciate and claim taxes on it, but we don't have to pay any taxes when we buy it. This is just, we don't expense it like we did everything in income, in the income portion, right? We expensed the cost. We claimed that way, but we're going to claim it a different way. We're not going to claim by doing 1 minus TC on this expense. This is an investment, and we're going to claim depreciation through taxes or through the IRS. All right, so that's done. So now we got to get this. So Caleb, you were telling me, let's take inventory plus cash plus account receivable minus accounts payable minus taxes payable. And what do you get? Let's put all the values down here. $3,000 in the first immediately. That's going to be, now this is like our year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the next year,
$28,500. No, wait, no, that's the required.
yeah, just the first step. Yeah,
Okay,
28,500.
31,500.
Like this.
No, 31,500.
Okay. Everyone agree?
Yes.
Okay, next one. 32,000. I just saw that this one canceled this one, and that leaves 33 minus 1 is 32. I kind of cheated. Well, not cheated. I just looked at the numbers canceling rather than add them all up. Okay, so this one is going to be 38, and 2 of those cancel, so 40. Got it? And the next one, these cancel, so 33. And this one's easy, it's just 0. Okay, so these are the net working capital required. So I did it all there. Now, I can I can move it up. I can move these down. Let's do that. Yeah, I can erase. I can. I have to cover that with white. Okay, so now we're going to do the changes. So like the incremental amounts. Okay, so immediately we need 3,000. That's mostly cash. And then we need how much more?
$28,500.
How much?
28,500.
Okay, perfect. And then next, 500? No, what did I do here? Yeah, 500. And the next one. So what I'm doing for people who still don't know, I have to take the new year minus the year before to see how much more. So this is 8,000. And now this one is smaller than that year. We're going to go less 7,000. So $7,000 are released back to the firm. And then finally, the 33,000. But there's a delay in getting releasing these this investment back to the firm. So we have to account for that with the time value of money. So before we do that, though, we're going to note that we have to turn these into net working capital investment cash flows. So we're going to change the sign. We have to invest 3,000. We have to invest an additional 28,500, an additional 500, an additional 8,000. But then we get this money back. Okay, so we're going to put those into an NPV type expression here for networking capital. So we're going to write negative 3,000. You could put these in the CF keys actually too. I'll make it easier. Well, I'm going to write them here and then. So that 3,000 doesn't have any discounting, right? Because it's initial. The next one is going to have discounting, 28,500. And it's annual. So am I done? One more, right? Oops. Always forget something. Okay. So 33. 1.265. Okay. So we're going to leave that there. And now we're going to do the salvage effect. So what is the so everybody's okay with that? We'll get that. We'll calculate in a moment. I just want to write everything down first because it's really important to get it all down. So the salvage effect, if you remember the formula, it's PV salvage effect is equal to salvage plus after tax or taxing book value minus salvage value. Okay, when that happens, I'll just call it salvage. Sometimes I call it market value, sometimes I call it SV. All right, so this is equal to, there's no salvage, right? Because we're not selling it. The book value ends up being 0. Sorry. No, we got to get the book value to put it in the formula. That's true. So it turns out we're going to sell it for the book value. So let's just call it salvage like this. And TC is 0.4. And book value is going to be the same as salvage minus salvage. So what happens to salvage? Like, always use the formula. I'm just showing you that it doesn't matter now because your book value and the salvage value are going to be the same thing. So this just disappears. So you're just going to do the present value of the salvage. So you need to find that. You have to do the table to get that value. Questions about that? If that's confusing, we're going to sell it for the undepreciated cost of capital. So we need to find that to put it in the formula. That's just in this case. All right, so let's just write salvage for now as a place mark. And we can just leave all of this. Let's do the second table and then we'll finish this table. I hope that's not too confusing. For the second table, we've got to make so we got to write the table columns are year, small d, big D, UCC, and then tax shields, TC times D. So what's the first year? Where do we start? So that's the information here in purple. So we need the 7-year schedule. So using the document on Moodle, oh, that's not what I wanted to show. Hold on. Using the document on Moodle. I don't have Moodle open. Why it's not showing up? Try that again. Here. So at the top I have the makers table. I put this one from the IRS, but it has, I think, more decimal places. I can't remember. But they're basically the same. So we're just going to use always the one I give you, 7 years. On the IRS has one more decimal place. So to avoid having different numbers, let's use this. So the numbers are, this is the same as the UARE for electrical equipment, 0.143, 0.245, and 0.175, 0.125. We have to go 5 years, right? 0.089. Okay, and I start in what year? Where do I start the table?
Year 1.
Year 1. Why do I start in year 1? Because I need a year to pass for depreciation to happen, right? The wear and tear of the equipment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depreciation table starts in year 1, and networking capital starts in 0 unless maybe there's nothing up front that you have to have available for managing day-to-day operations. But anyway, just to make that point. Okay, so then how do we calculate the big D? What do we do?
Initial investment times small d.
35,000 times a small d. That's right. So let's do that. I get just 5,000. These are very small numbers because it's a small investment. So 5,005.245 times 35,000 equals 8,575. And then 175 times 35,000 equals 6,125. And 35,000 times 0.125 equals 4,375.089 times 35,000 equals 3,115. Okay, to get the UCC, all I really need is this last one. So just take 35,000 minus all of those to find it. I won't fill the whole table just because I'm running out of time. So 35,000 minus 5,005 minus 8,575 minus 6,125 minus, this is so long, 4,375 minus 3,115. And that leaves 7,805. Can you guys confirm that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And now that's the number. Because of this, in this case, I mean, in particular, we're going to put that number there. That they sell at the UCC. So you have to do the whole table to get it. And that happens in the 5th year, so you have to discount that back 5 years. And it's a plus because we're getting to sell it for that amount. So, all right. All right, so let's get the tax shields and then finish it off. I'm going to get rid of this. So the tax shields will be TCD. These are the tax shields. So I take 0.4 times these amounts all the way down. And I get in the first year 2,002. In the second year 3,430. In the third year 2,450. In the did I say the fourth year? Third year. The fourth year 1,750. And in the final year 1,246. And that's it. That's part 3. So part 3, the tax savings will be 2002 discounted 1.26 one period, then 3430 discounted 1.26 two periods, plus 2450 divided by 1.26 plus 1750 divided by 1.264 and 1,246 divided by 126 to the power 5. And that's all you have to do. So you got to calculate this one using the CF keys and then subtract and add that one. And this one you can also use the CF keys, but be careful. Always remember you have to put something initially. So just put a 0 there for your keys. Okay, so you guys have the clave for that. You guys can check it. I'm not going to finish it because we're out of time. But I do want to go back to the other one. If you guys have time, I'll finish the other one right now. The one we started last class. Okay, so this is going to, you're going to see the answers to this. They're available. Any questions about this case? So the tricky part, or the one that, might have confused you, was what to do with the statement about selling for the undepreciated cost of capital. We have to go get the book value and put it here. Any questions about this? I'm going to just look at the solution together and then go to the original question if you guys are interested. Otherwise, you guys can leave and have a happy Easter. But I will stay here and I'm going to stop the video after the review and we'll talk about that other problem together. Okay, let me share the screen again. And so here are the results. So the capital spending was 35,000 negative. Then you put the net working capital in as negative 16,000 if you put it all together in the cash flow keys. And the salvage will just be the book value discounted 5 periods, which would be this. When you put it all together, the investment is negative, like it's $49,000. So we're going deeper and deeper into the red, right? We have the investment is going to be a negative. Of course, usually investment is a negative cash flow, but unfortunately our income was also a negative cash flow. So let's see if the tax shield helps us. I don't think it's going to because these are it's a small investment and there's small savings. So we get, when we put this in the calculator, you get $6,000 and that's not enough. You end up rejecting this project. All right. Okay, so I'm going to stop for the students in the other class. I'm going to post this video and yeah, happy Easter.